Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new video where we're going to be doing the Danganronpa Executions tier list. I'm not going to have much of an intro, so, just beware there are going to be a lot of spoilers in this video, so if you have not played the Danganronpa series or don't know much about it, click off the video, because again, this is all spoilers, it's all the executions. I want to quickly say the way I'll be ranking these isn't based on their motives, because their motives for these murderers are kind of on a different level. I would have to make a new video for that, which I may do in the future, but this is just on the executions alone and nothing more, not counting anything to do before that. And please remember that this is my opinion, so if you want to, leave in the comments what your favorite Danganronpa execution is and what your least favorite Danganronpa execution is. But either way, let's get started. As you can see, in true Danganronpa fashion, our tier lists are Shrimp, because I really like Shrimp, the food, and, that would be top tier for me. I Am Crying, because it was very emotional and very impactful, pretty good. You're Just Okay, because, it was just okay. Not Good, because, not good. And then Target Blast from Smash Bros. For Wii U. It's a terrible mode, so if you're here, you're instantly my least favorite. So first we have a Mondo Owada. These aren't in order, by the way, these are just the order of what's on this tier list, but first we have Mondo Owada, which, their execution being turned into butter. It was I remember hearing a theory about it where it was he went so fast that the friction turned him, or evaporated him into butter. My problem is that this was the second Danganronpa 1 execution, and Leon's was probably one that was really impactful because of how realistic and how brutal it was. But with Mondo's, it felt more like Danganronpa was seeking into its more silly side of things. And you can definitely tell that Leon's execution was the only one that made it to the beta. Also, that was the only one that was in the beta, because you can definitely tell, between Leon's and between Mondo's, the game kind of changes its tone completely. So, I'm just going to put it in You're Just Okay, just because I feel like this execution would have fit more of Danganronpa 2 or V3 and not the first game. It makes sense, obviously, because the biker gang leader and whatnot, but I just feel like it would have made more sense if these were in the other games where they weren't as realistic as the first game. Speaking of which, next is Leon Kawada's execution. I think I'm going to put in I Am Crying, mainly because of how impactful it was. I'm not a big fan of Leon's character in general, but his execution was very impactful for the player, and when you're first playing Danganronpa blind and you get to the execution, you're just whoa. Did that just happen? I've seen so many blind players get intrigued and they get more invested because of the execution. And Leon's was very brutal. The art style was great. It was a great execution. And if you think otherwise, no. Even if you, like I said, I hate Leon, or I don't hate him, but I'm not a big fan of Leon. And I think his execution was amazing. So it's gonna go in I Am Crying. Makoto Naegi. So they didn't really get executed, but I guess they did. I'm gonna lump Makoto and Kirigiri together in the same tier here because they have the same execution, which, why do they have the same execution? I don't know, and I do think it's kind of lazy on the game's part, but whatever. Anyways, I feel like their execution, even though it had nothing to do with their talents, I don't know, I feel like it would have been way better if it had something to do with their talents, because Makoto's, it would have been better for it to be more luck-based, and Kyoko's, I'm not exactly sure what you could do for a detective execution, but I feel like there would have been more than that. Either way, it does create a lot of fear into the player and the person within the execution because of it constantly stomping down. You can just hear it, even if the camera's not on the massive, I don't even know what to call it, the massive thing that crushes down. You can still hear it, and it still creates this fear of anxiety and just pressure of what's going to happen next. So I feel like they both would go in I Am Crying. It would be Shrimp level if they had more going on, and they weren't just the exact same. Pekko Kokoyama. I honestly think this is probably one of the best executions in the entire series. I mean, the whole premise of Pekko's execution, you may say it's a little silly, how Monokuma was technically controlling Pekko, but I feel like the main point of that execution was the fact that the last things she saw before she died was thinking that she killed the most important person in her life, because that's basically what happened. Fuyuhiko survived, but Pekko basically, the last thing she ever saw was her cutting or her stabbing Fuyuhiko. And that must, like, that's probably one of the worst feelings, and nobody actually brings that up ever when they're talking about Pekko's execution. I honestly think Pekko's is shrimp level just for that detail alone. So we're going to give shrimp level. Teru Hanamura. Again, I'm not a big fan of this character, but their execution was pretty good. It set a good tone for the second game with how it dealt with things. It felt more like Leon's, but just a bit more going extreme and more on the silly side of things. So I feel like it's not perfect because some people did get confused. There was like one part where this giant missile was firing at Teru and it exploded, and most people were like, oh, he's dead. But really, what actually happened is it exploded right before it hit Teru. So I know that was a very small detail, but it's that small detail that a lot of people miss, and because of that, I don't feel like it did a good job at portraying what it was trying to do until the very end. Either way, I would say I'm crying just because it is very good and it's very iconic. Mukuro Ikusaba. Wait, why is Mukuro here? Huh? Okay, well, they've put Junko's... Okay, so why is Mukuro's I don't know why Mukuro is here. When did Mukuro get executed? Like, we're not talking about the spear thing, because that's the death, that's not an execution, technically. I mean, if this is what they're talking about with the spear stuff, then it's going to target blast, because that was nothing, mate. Monomy. I mean, I feel like Monomy is the one, which was, in case you don't know, it was at the very start with the Mono Beast, where they basically just shot Monomy. I feel like the only good thing about that cutscene or that execution in general was the fact that right after you see that Hajime, one of the bullets goes past right next to him and actually cuts Hajime's face a little. And I feel like that was very good symbolism on the game's part, just because of it being, it's trying to say like, oh, this is real. And I know at the end of the game, it's not real, but it's trying to set this message that like, yeah, this is the real deal. And it also fits what happened before, since, you know, everyone was all happy and dandy and whatnot, and they couldn't believe it. So I feel like that little message that got cut for Hajime, or that cut for Hajime, was basically just the game saying, yeah, we're in the real deal now. This is Monokuma's world. So, for that reason alone, I'm going to put it in not good, because otherwise it would be in Target Blast, 100%, it wasn't that good, like, at all, it was terrible. But, just for that detail alone, it will go up a tier, so not good. Kaito Momota. This one is very interesting, because it was the first time an execution had technically failed. I mean, you could say Makoto's did, but the thing is that Kyoko also shared the same execution in which, you know, she died, so I don't really know how I don't know if that counts or not, because it technically worked. Either way, Kaito Momota's execution was very well done. It was basically a homage to the first ever execution on Jin Kirigiri. It was a bit silly that it was going through the Earth's core, but you know, and a lot of people, it takes them off guard, but like, it's Danganronpa V3 and it's a lot more sillier than the other games, or a lot more expressive and a lot more extreme and just stuff out the waters than the other two games did, so that's fine. And the thing with Kibo at the end, where it basically felt like you guys winning against Monokuma, since right after you're talking about like, oh, are you happy that Kaito won? They're like, wait, how did Kaito win? And then they go like, oh, Kaito didn't die by you like he said he would. And I know I said earlier that motives and all that shouldn't count towards ranking these, and it's not. It's just that Kaito's way of doing it was very well done, and it's the fact that we never see anything else like this in the series as well. I also might be talking out my ass, I don't know, but either way, I think this one's really good, so I'm gonna put it in shrimp. Mikan Sumiki. This is by far the worst execution in the entire series. She gets on an arm and then she rides into space. That is it. And then it plays some like fan service shit. Like, okay, like I get it. Mikan's the fan service character and they were trying to portray her as that, even though, you know, it's a bit weird since she has a lot of trauma. But fan service aside, this execution was just terrible. It literally just flied her up to the moon or the sky or whatever and then it's gone. Like, what? Like, honestly, it just, I don't know how they, like, thought that was a good idea to include. I'm not even joking. Like, I legit don't understand how they thought that was, like, you know what, that would be good. And it's not symbolism. There's no, like, symbolism or other meaning. It's just shit. It's actually just a bad execution. So that's definitely going in Target Blast. Gundam Tanaka. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, and you know, people, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Gundam, and people already, you know, insult me for that reason, so, you know, I mean, I've already been insulted by a lot of people, so, I mean, if you want it, fine, but, you know, opinions are opinions, and I respect yours, so you should respect mine too. I mean, people don't, but whatever. Either way, Gundam's execution, in my opinion, wasn't that good. It, like, yes, the ending made a bit sense, I guess, with the whole him going to pet heaven, but, like, I just didn't really understand the point of it. Like, you just got hit. The only thing I can really see about it is that, like, that Gundam's magic, or like what Gundam talks about throughout the entire game, just didn't work or doesn't work, and it kind of proves that, you know, he is this human that is trying to act more powerful, more boastful about himself, and I guess that's the only reason, because then he tries it, what he's been talking about this entire time, and when he does, it fails, and then he gets hit. So I guess that would be the only symbolism. I don't really know what else it would really mean, but it's more so the fact that he just got hit once and then it's like, you're done. I feel like a lot more could have been done for Gundam's execution, and most people I see play the game, they say it was a bit disappointing, so honestly, for now, I'm just gonna put it in not good. Celestia Ludenberg. This execution would definitely go in I'm crying. I feel like it's very good, especially the way it sets it up at the beginning about burning the witch. It definitely fits her character a lot, and the whole in beginning part was amazing. And then the fire truck. So I feel like the fire truck kind of ruined it. I feel like a burning would have made more sense. But the thing is, if you actually think about it, or what people were saying, is that Celeste actually would have liked to die by fire because she sees it as romantic. And Monokuma doesn't want that. So Monokuma was like teasing her, being like, oh yeah, you're dying the way you wanted to, but here's a fire truck. And the fact that meaning is actually there in the execution of Monokuma basically being like, even at your death, I'm not giving you what you want. I feel like that's a really amazing detail, and a lot of people overlook that a lot, and I don't know, I think that's quite funny and quite amazing, so it's gonna go in I am crying. Junko Inoshima's execution. This one is very controversial to a degree, a lot more than the others, just because, you know, everybody brings up the same thing. How did everybody get all of her body parts and whatnot if she was crushed? But the thing is, there's so many theories, like people say like, oh, they saw Mukuro's because they thought it was Junko's, and then other people have been saying that it was all a dream. Like, a lot of people say like, oh, Kodaka said it was a dream, and I haven't looked it up or anything, but like, both of those reasons are kind of shit in my opinion. Saying that Junko's final execution was all just a dream, or like a portrayal of what her ultimate execution would have been like, I feel like they could have portrayed that way better than making people like, when you first played the game, and you can go to any blind playthrough, most people think it's real. Most people think Junko's final execution was like actually real. So if it's actually fake and not real, the game did a terrible job telling the player that it wasn't real. And you know, maybe they decided that it wasn't real after the first game. I don't know. But either way, if that is the case, that's a terrible job on just anything story related, because it just fucks over everybody, what everyone thinks. Because I'm telling you, the amount of people you see blindly play the games and be like, wait, but how did Kameda get her hand if it was crushed? And like, I'm telling you, the game does a terrible job at telling you if it's a dream or not. So for that reason, it's going in not good, because I just think it's really stupid that they've just retconned that whole thing and then just went against it. I'm sorry, it's just really annoying, and it's annoying, yeah. Kaede Akamatsu. Kaede's is amazing. I mean, I love the character in general, but like, her execution, it was very well done. The whole piano setting, and the fact that she was being pulled by her neck, and it's very iconic too. A lot of people, I mean, aside from her being the pro tag, like, aside from that whole big deal, you know, the execution is very iconic, so for that, it will go in shrimp. Gonta Gokahara. Gonta's was a bit interesting. So, like, I'm not really sure how to put it. It's more like, it will definitely go up there for, you know, for Alter Ego, Gonta being there. But also, Monotaro got killed during that too, so instantly target blast. That's a joke, by the way. Yeah, that's a joke. But I would say Gonta's is in You're Just Okay. I didn't really feel much impact from it. Like, yes, Gonta's a character that a lot of people felt sad and what happened previously before the death, but I don't know. I feel like it was a bit not that good, the execution. And it ended with Monokuma kind of directly interfering with the execution. And don't really think Monokuma does that a lot and doesn't do that in general. Like, he sets these executions up, but a lot of people I see online be like, oh, he's never directly involved, so it's okay. But, like, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of it. I felt like it was just a bit weird and they could have done a better job at this execution. So, you're just going okay. Kurumi Tojo. This execution was good. It was very brutal. It was very... A lot of people look back to it and be like, ooh, don't win that one. One. A lot of people look back to it and like, ooh, because of how, you know, grabbing spiked vines and stuff. It's the only problem I didn't like was the beginning part with all the people there. I get it because, you know, she's the prime minister or whatever, but like I don't know how it made sense. Like where are these people coming from? Hello? But you know, apart from that, it was very good, and the whole her being tricked into thinking she could escape because that was what she wanted to do, and the fact that she was running away from Monokuma and it had like the whole pixel art thing. It was really well done. I'm definitely putting this I am crying. Kokyo Shinguji. This one is a very bizarre one. Probably one of the weirdest executions in the entire series. The first part was fine and everything, and the whole boiling oven thing, not much was happening, and in case you can tell, he was bleeding from his eyeballs. So like, that detail goes very unnoticed, and it's very disturbing about that whole ordeal. The whole bit with like the sister ghost thing, yeah, what? Yeah, no, it's a bit weird, and I prefer to not talk about it, but I will say, I will give this execution a bit extra bonus points, you know, for killing Kokyo's ghost. So, for now, or just in general, I'll put it in You're Just Okay. Samuki Shiragane. Honestly, what was this execution even? It was more so Kibo just blowing up the school, and then she died by a rock. I felt like the portrayal of when she was Junko all happy and whatnot, and then it like swapped to her being all sad in her normal cosplay, or just her normal outfit. I thought that was very good in terms of how she felt in life, because I feel that was a good portrayal on how Samuki's life actually is, because, you know, it's a bit hard to tell because of how, you know, crazy, and how we don't really know much about her true personality or life much. But I feel like that's how that like little detail kind of helped us realize what Samuki's life is like, as in the main reasons why she's obsessed so much with Danganronpa was because she loved it, it made her happy, as you can see by the Junko cosplay. But then when she's out of Danganronpa, she just felt sad and upset in life, and I'm not trying to like defend for what she did. Obviously she set up the whole killing game or helped him or so. But like, I feel like that little detail was a very good portrayal of how the real Samuki felt about not being able to do her favorite thing in life. And a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, don't catch up on that. But you know, this execution was really just a boulder smashing on top of her, so I'm gonna put this in You're Just Okay, mainly just because of that small detail about Samuki's past life. That helps quite a lot. Chiaki Nanami. So Chiaki had 2 executions. I'm gonna count the one in DR2 first. The one in DR2 was very good, but I didn't feel like it was very, you know, out there. I felt like it was just kind of basic. I don't know. I felt like but it had nice aesthetics, it had good references. You could definitely see that Monokuma let her try and escape from the execution, so she was running for her life, and she still held on to Monomy during it, so I feel like this execution isn't the best, or isn't shrimp level tier, because it just wasn't, I feel like the meaning just wasn't there as much, and obviously it's a very important character, a very important execution of the series, so yeah, I don't know. For me, I'll just put it in I'm crying, because it's still very good either way. However, Danganronpa 3, Chiaki execution, that will probably go shrimp level. It's not on this tier list maker that I have in front of me, but I feel like that was definitely good with how it went, and the whole way the viewer is just tense, and it's anxiety, and it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? It's, a lot of people I know say that it's very painful for them to watch, even if they aren't Chiaki fans. Like, I've seen non-Chiaki fans be like, yeah, I can't watch the Chiaki's Danganronpa 3 execution because of just, it was terrible, it was disturbing and very gruesome. And it doesn't help that after the whole thing, she's like crawling for life, like clinging onto life, like, and then she like slips over her own blood, and it's just very disgusting. So I feel like that one would definitely go in shrimp worthy, because the whole point of Chiaki's DR3 execution was to make the viewer uneasy and anxiety and everything like that, so it definitely did its job right. Jin Kirigiris, this one's just gonna go in okay. There's not really much to say about it. It's kind of just the first one you see, so I feel like it sets up the game nicely for what you're getting into, but there's literally nothing to like really base this on. Really, I don't know, I feel like there's nothing to do here, so it will just go in okay. Alter Ego Junko, what? No, what? Does that count as an execution? I mean, I'm just gonna put it in Target Blast, because I'm good, mate. And the last execution we have is Alter Ego execution. This one is definitely good in terms of impact and surprise for the player, because the whole cast was kind of relying on Alter Ego to help them escape and help them do stuff and whatnot. The execution itself wasn't that good in my opinion. I mean, yes, it was kind of just destroying them and turning them into like a Monokuma ball or something, but I feel like the main impact of Alter Ego's execution was just the surprise factor. I feel like that's the most important thing when it came to that execution, was just the surprise, the impact of like being like, oh shit, they found out, like, that type of stuff. That's kind of really the reaction you would be getting and whatnot from that execution, not more so them dying. So I feel like for that, it will go in not good. It would, like I said, the execution itself wasn't that good in my opinion, but I feel like because of the surprise factor, it would go from Target Blast to not good. So there we have it. That is my Danganronpa execution tier list. Like I said, it's my opinion. Please be respectful and don't insult me, because, I mean, people do that anyways, even though I say you don't have to listen to my opinion, because, you know, everyone has their own. But, you know, I would love to hear everybody else's opinion on this topic, so tell me in the comments, y'all. What is your favorite Danganronpa execution, and what's your least favorite Danganronpa execution? I would love to know. And, yeah. This has been a very long video, well, not a very long video, but this has been a longer video than normal. Either way, I do appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!